What's up, y'all? John and April here once again. One more time. Actually, we want you to do something before we start. You need to subscribe.
Oh, and don't forget to like the video.
Right. So we got something that we want to talk to you about and wanted to see what you think. It's kind of funny. Lately we've been talking about whether or not we need each other. I guess I've been feeling a whole lot lately like I've been really needing my wife. And I don't know if it's because of the quarantine or what, but I've just been really, aware of the fact that I need this woman.
I need you too, babe.
I know.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about this because we know a lot of people have this idea that, I don't need a man.
Right. I don't need a woman.
And, and we don't need each other.
Right.
I'm a strong black woman.
Yes.
I can, take care of myself.
Right.
I can handle my money.
Right.
I can do all that thing, which is true.
All
those things.
I think all that stuff is true.
It is.
Yes.
But I do believe that there is some type of negative thinking when it comes to I don't need you and you don't need me.
Yes. Okay, so here's what I want to know. This is my question. This is what I'm asking y'all too. The question is, when people say I don't need a blank, woman or man, do they really mean that, or are they simply saying something because they don't have that? So is it like, because I'm single and have been single for a while, my attitude now has become, I don't need anybody else? Or is it simply that I really feel that way? Because like you said earlier, I do believe that there are things that I can do on my own. Everything that you do for me in this relationship, when it comes to physical things, I can physically actually do for myself.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what people mean when they say they don't need a man. But the reality is there's something I can't get being by myself that I get from being with you that I love, and I can't replace that. And that's companionship and relationship. There are things you bring to this relationship that I can't just have on my own. So for me, you're indispensable. And this is not about us. My point is, what do you think people are thinking? Are people saying, I really don't need the other person? Or are they kind of just, you get to that place because you become callous or used to it or whatever?
Well, I think that sometimes you do get to that point where you're like, you know what? I don't need this. I don't need that, because you got to be able to go on and not be thinking about that all the time if that's what's going on. That's not everybody, but I'm just saying, like, I've seen it where certain people, they don't have friends and they're like, I don't need friends because they can't ever really find a good friend. They're like, I don't need friends. I can be by myself, but that's not necessarily true, and I think we need to look at it as it doesn't have to be necessarily a romantic relationship. It's men need women and women need men because men have something that women don't have. Women have something men don't have. We can't always pinpoint that thing, but I always loved having guy friends.
Right.
I didn't want to not have guy friends. I didn't want to just have girls because it's something about a guy friend. They're different. They bring something that I needed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When I was younger. I like having guy friends. I like, what I mean? It's different.
That was the case for me too. In high school, I had a lot of girlfriends, and there wasn't anything romantic. It was just, these were my friends. And there was something different about having them around and being around them and stuff. There were perspectives on things that I never thought of that way. There was stuff I saw a totally different way. I got a window into a totally different way of thinking when I hung around with girls. And of course, I have a sister, so that made a difference too. But
now, let's go back to the relationship part. Okay, because that's really what we're focused on.
Because we're saying we established that men and women need each other.
Yes, we know that.
Okay,
we know, as far as just friendship, relationship type thing. Okay,
yes.
But when you're talking about romantically, I have some people who say that, I don't need a man in that kind of way. And I'm saying, I think we do need each other.
Right.
I need you in certain ways that I can't get from anyone else.
Right.
And I think it's okay to say that, it's okay to say, I need a man or I want a man.
That's what I was going to say.
Not necessarily I need, but I want.
Yes.
We don't need to live. I don't need a man to be able to live and function and do.
Yes.
But I want that in my life because it brings something else that I don't have.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
So I think what we're saying really is, number one, people individually can be complete and total, but only, in my opinion, when they're connected with God. I think our
agree.
completion comes with God.
I agree.
Right?
Yes.
I don't think other human beings complete us. I think other human beings complement us.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so that's one thing.
And I
So
think that's the difference in thinking.
yes, I think it is.
Complimenting rather than completing, because I think sometimes people get offended by the fact that you say you need a man or you need a woman or whatever.
Like you can't be a total person without
Exactly.
them.
And I
Right.
think that's unfair to
Agreed.
say to somebody,
Agreed.
because that's not true.
Yeah, so I think we find our completion in God.
Okay.
But I think we should also, I think people need to have permission. I think people should have permission to feel like it's okay to say that I want
That's
to have a
it.
relationship. That's okay.
Yes.
And in this day and age where we have so much sort of like empowerment talk and speech and things like that, which is all good. I'm cool with all that stuff.
yeah.
But that empowerment stuff sometimes makes us like almost feel shame for wanting a relationship with somebody. And I'm saying, to me, that's whack. I think it's okay to say, I want a man, I want a woman.
Yeah.
I want to be in a relationship,
Right.
and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't
Yes.
mean that I'm hungry or I'm looking for something
Right.
or that I feel like I'm inadequate
Right.
without them. Nothing wrong with that. I think there's something naturally that God put in us that makes us want to have a relationship with the person of the opposite sex. I don't think there's anything wrong with
I
that.
don't either. And I think it's not, again, I go back to saying it's not really fair to people
Right.
who want to be able to express, I want a man or I want
Yes.
a woman, I want
Yes.
a relationship,
Yes.
without looking like or feeling like, oh man, people are going to see me as desperate or
Yes.
whatever. And I'm like, you know, we need that too. And I love the word you use, complimenting.
Yes, yes.
You know, it brings out things that no other relationship can.
And it stretches you better too, because if all I do is things with people of my gender, oftentimes there are ways of thinking that are similar because I think men and women think very differently. I think automatically when I get with a woman, whether as a friend or a girlfriend or a wife, I think something happens to open up my thinking where now I'm stretching myself to think other than the way I already think about stuff. I think it's a positive thing.
I think so too. So are you saying that it doesn't have to be romantic? It can
Yes.
be that you just have relationships with men or women or whatever, and it gives you that complementary need or, you know.
The complementary effect, yes.
Effect, the
yes.
complementary, thank you, the
Yes.
complementary effect.
And I think we should actually be at a place where we say, where we stop saying, I don't need a man, I don't need a woman. I don't think that's a good thing to
Yeah,
say. I think
yeah.
I know what we mean when we say that.
Yeah.
What we're really, I think most of the time when somebody says that, they're combating this idea that I am inadequate by myself.
Exactly.
That people are coming to me all the time, always asking me, you're not married yet? You ain't got no girlfriend? You ain't got no wife or your husband? Whatever.
right.
Okay, so I understand that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, as a thought, I don't think we should be at that place where we're saying we don't need people of the opposite sex.
Okay, let's just be real. We don't hear a whole lot of, I don't need a woman. I mean, really? Like.
That's actually not really true. Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying that the whole idea of I need a man or I don't need a man is more popular probably because of the history.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's always a history behind why certain things are said or whatever. And I think when you look back, I mean, there was a time when if a woman didn't have a man, they wouldn't be able to survive
Right.
or have the things that they wanted as far as money and a house and all that kind of stuff. Even, I mean, women couldn't even get certain jobs. So it's
Right,
like,
right.
you know, I think that stemmed from that whole idea that if you did not have a man, you could not survive.
Right. So,
and
for
so I
hundreds
think
of years ago, it actually was like that.
I mean, just
Yeah.
like with black people. I mean,
Right.
we have stuff that stems from back in slavery
Right,
time. Well, it's the same
right,
way with women.
right.
I mean, we have had the, you know, we've been oppressed as well,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like, you know, if you don't have a man or men are more important, you're
Mm-hmm.
beneath them. So I think that's where this whole I don't need a man comes from. I'm not sure if it's all about, you know, I don't need a man, meaning I don't need a man I don't really want one to have a relationship with. I think it's more so I don't need a man to live. I don't
can do
need a
what I need to
man.
do to be able to
Yes,
do what I
I
need
don't
to
need
do.
a man to be
Yes.
successful. Like
Right.
our daughter is kind of saying that stuff now. You know,
Right.
Julia's like, you know, when I say, see if daddy can come help us, we don't need daddy. We can do this ourselves, you know. Or, you know, I don't need, and I'm like, okay, I that's good. And we usually end up getting it done or trying to,
Right,
you know,
right.
even though it might be something heavy or something
Right,
hard.
right.
But I like that about her. I like
Right.
that she feels like I can do this, but I also don't want her to get this attitude like, I don't need men in my life
Right.
to, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know, because we do need each other.
Yes.
And I think we should be open to saying we need one another because that's okay.
That's what I think we should get to too. I do understand the reaction though, and that does make sense to me, and that is legitimate.
It is because inside I have that little feeling too. Like
I know.
like,
I'm about to say I definitely married one of these.
But I'm trying not to. I don't want to have that kind of attitude. You know what I'm saying? But I do against men who feel that way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. And I definitely feel that when a man acts like you need me to do this, your response is always, please.
Exactly.
So I get that. But I wonder if that's dangerous in any way, because I wonder if that takes you down a road where basically you close yourself off to the idea of relationship, and you end up missing out on something that you would have loved.
Yeah, and I think it can. I think there are some people who do miss out because they have that kind of attitude, because, men can pick up that attitude.
That's true too.
Men can pick up an attitude that I don't need no man or whatever, and that kind of immediately, turns them off. And it's the same with a woman.
So what you're saying is,
for a man who thinks you need me, we get turned off by that as well.
So you're saying you go on a date, you do not want to be projecting, I don't need a man on that date.
I don't think so. I mean, you're not trying to project either. If I don't have a man, I can't survive.
True.
Just be you. Yeah.
Right. Regular. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Now,
yeah.
it is important to point out though that there is a movement now of men who are saying we don't need women.
Yes, I can't believe that.
Yeah, it's almost like a women's hate type movement.
But it's almost in response. Like they don't like that women are being empowered.
Well, here's what
women are standing up for themselves for the first time.
You know what it feels like? It feels similar to white people responding negatively to all of the racial awareness that is going on right now, almost as if they weren't there to understand how we got to this place in the first place.
Right.
The reality is, with men, we are where we are because of male dominance and male chauvinism. That's why we are where we are.
Yeah.
So the reaction and response, even though we may not enjoy it or like it, it makes sense, and we put ourselves in the situation.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So that's bottom line. And even if we ourselves weren't the men who perpetrated it, we do have the privilege, and we still do it now.
Right.
That's
and so it's up to men to show, we agree.
That's right.
You don't need us to survive.
That's
you
right.
don't need us to be successful.
Right.
But
I would love it if you would join hands with me, please.
Exactly.
And be my partner.
That's right. That's right.
That's basically what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah, I know you don't have to have me, but I'd love it if you would make yourself need me. Like,
right.
Want
And see, what happens is, because I know you feel that way, I can be in this relationship and say, I need you.
Right.
And be okay with saying that.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I want us to get to the point. It would be nice if we could get to the point where men and women could say, I need you.
Right.
I need you too. And it not be, you need me.
That's right.
Or
I know there's no negative whatever that goes along
exactly.
with that.
We need each other because we are different. We have different things that we bring to the table that enhance the relationship, whether it's friendship, romantic, whatever.
So what we're saying really is, we need to change the definition of the word need.
Yes.
Okay,
I like that.
Need for us, when we're talking about needing each other, does not have any of the negative connotation that the word need had in the 1700s. Okay? So we're trying to strip all of that, and what we're saying is there is a basic need that we have for each other that is positive, that does not put anything over the other one. So if I say I need you, or you say you need me, that's better than saying you need me.
Right.
Or you say you need me. You
right.
understand what I'm saying?
It's almost like a choice to need.
That's right.
Not a need to need.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because I don't really need you to open that jar.
Right.
Because I really can go on Amazon and get one of them little grippy things. But
or you know, be extra strong enough with
that's
them.
True. That's true. That is true. But I do like to be able to call on you.
Right.
Say, hey, babe, will you open this jar for me?
Yes.
And I like that you want to open that jar for me.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
I do
so I think it has to be a respect.
A voluntary.
It's a voluntary. Oh.
Yes.
Yes, a voluntary need. I love that. I am choosing to need you.
Yeah. Now it's funny because God does the same thing.
Oh wow.
I don't mean to turn this into a sermon. But seriously.
You about to preach.
but seriously though, God doesn't really need us for anything. And
That's so
yet,
true.
what God has done is He has placed Himself in a position of needing the body of Christ to be able to help save other people, to let them know about God or whatever, know about Jesus. Yeah. So He has even put himself in a position of needing the church to be able to finish the work. It's the same kind of thing. We don't really need each other, but we do. We put ourselves in a position to need each other.
Hey. So we need to be like the Lord.
That's it. Be like the Lord.
That's right. And choose to need.
Exactly.
I love it. That's true. Black love matters.
Oh yeah.
And that's true. All love matters.
That's true.
Right. That's right. So go get your man.
Exactly.
Go get your woman. Tell them that you need them.
Yes.
And say it with confidence. You are voluntarily needing them.
Yes. That's exactly right. If we had a word of the day, that's what it would be.
Exactly.
Voluntary need.
I love it. I love it.
Anyway, I need you, babe.
I need you too, boo.
Good.
All right.
Bye now.
Bye, guys.